All right. So IP routing in the LAN. So these are the objectives. VLAN routing
Mm-hmm.
with router using the 802.1q trunks. VLAN routing with layer 3 switch using the SVI, which is the switch virtual interface. VLAN routing with layer 3 switch routed ports. So when you're doing VLAN routing, there are several options that you can use. There is what we call router on a stick, which is you have a single router and that router is connected to multiple other devices. In fact, you know, what might work out better in this particular case is if we look at a possible lab.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's look at a lab. I'm going to bring something into you. Uh, getting a lab here.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to have to get rid of some. So many files on this thing here. Alright. VLAN. So looking at trunking. Let's see this. You see when you're using Pocket Tracer, if you don't have any internet, it will just log you in. But if once you have internet, it will ask you for the username and password. You still there? Andrew?
Oh, my mute.
Oh, okay, okay. Alright, so here's a network.
Yeah, lovely. Three switch 6 PC.
Yeah. Let's bring the instruction. Alright, now one thing with this though, it doesn't allow us to get the font larger, so I'm not sure if you can read it.
Yeah,
But I'm
man.
going to, so it says
Bold and
this,
black good.
huh?
It bold and black said good.
Okay, this activity is a variation of lab 3.5.1 Pocket Tracer may not support all the tasks specified on the hands-on lab. This activity should not be considered equivalent to completing the hands-on labs. Pocket Tracer is not a substitute for hands-on lab experience with real equipment. So they always stated that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not the substitute for real equipment. So, so those are, let's see if we go next. So perform basic switch configuration. Packet Tracer will only grade switch host names. Alright, so we're going to configure host name, DNS,
Mm-hmm.
exit password, Cisco passwords, and so on. Let's see what else we're going to do. Note IP address of PC1 will be marked as wrong. Then this is where we're going to configure the VLAN. Alright, so VLAN is on the very last page, so right as we get started. Alright, so configure the switch host names. So let's see which switch we're going to start with. Oh, they didn't tell us which switch to start with. So I guess we start with any one we want. So let's start with switch 2. They have S2 here, so I'm going to take it that the host name is supposed to be S2, right?
Mm-hmm.
CLI EN config T intro STNAME S2. So we have that configured. See what else they say we should configure. So we configure hostname, disable DNS lookup. So I want to say no IP question mark NAIM dash lookup IP space domain dash lookup. So that. So we configure the domain lookup. Configure an exec mode password of class. So I want to say um, enable oh, so enable password class, and then configure a password of Cisco on the console connection. So we want to go line con 0, then password Cisco. Let's say login. And then for the VTY, same Cisco. So line VTY.
Hold on, I go too fast. What a line oh, or zero, what's that?
Line console 0. So this is the console.
Oh, console.
Yeah.
All right.
So just shorten it and say con.
Okay.
Right. Then line VTY, let's go 0 space 4, as in the first 4 VTY, first 5 VTY ports.
And the login go with that, right?
Yes, login. Alright,
Mm-hmm.
so password Cisco is saying the password is Cisco. Login
Yeah.
says when the person is access the terminal, it should present them with a login screen.
Yeah, right.
I say if you don't put the login, they will not be presented with a login screen, but they would need to do the password. So they wouldn't
Okay.
even know what to
So
type because they don't get
press, yeah.
anything prompting them.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, I remember.
Right. So password Cisco and then login. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we've configured everything here for one switch. So we need to do the same for the other switches. So let's do switch 1 now. So CLI enable config T, then going to say host name S1, and then no IP domain lookup, and then say enable um,
hold on to that. Go back, go back. Maybe want you to do something without the hyphen.
The
What if
domain,
you do? Mm.
sorry, go again.
If you the dash, if you don't do this with the dash, what's it No IP domain lookup. If you
Yeah,
left out the dash.
mean like so.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, it seemed to work. Let's check something here. Um, yeah, so that might have been a change, right? So you
Mm.
can do IP domain and then space lookup,
Okay.
right? Or you can do dash and you have the
You
single
write in
thing.
both case then.
Yeah, so you have the domain
Okay.
dash lookup or just domain space lookup. The
Okay.
domain dash lookup is the one that has always been there.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so
And this
um,
is for no DNS enabled, disable DNS, right?
yeah, so when you when you're on a switch, so let's say I type something like um, let's say I wanted to type enable and I mistype
Mm-hmm.
and type ed.
Mm-hmm.
When I press the enter key,
Mm-hmm.
it would normally um, I'm going to let it work and show you. Right, so I just put back the IP domain lookup
Yeah.
and then say ed.
Okay. Invalid input detected. Okay.
No, that's not what I'm supposed to um, uh, hold here. Exit. Yeah, so this is what's supposed to happen. So it says translating. So what is going to happen now?
Okay.
It's trying to find because it doesn't know this command.
Mm-hmm.
It is assuming that it is a name.
Oh,
So it's now looking for a DNS server to try and figure out what that name is.
okay.
Right? So this is what we are disabling. We are telling it not to do this anymore when we say no
Yeah.
IP domain lookup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now this takes about a minute or two, so we just have to wait. And that is why one of the reasons why we disable it,
Oh,
because
yeah, yeah,
it,
yeah.
it can waste a lot of time if you mistype often. And you have no way of getting around it once it starts. So if I do now the no IP domain lookup, and then if I go back and at this point now type ed, it doesn't give me that thing anymore. It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
says unknown command.
Come on, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't waste the time going to try and find a DNS server anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why we do that.
Yeah.
So enable password Cisco. Is it Cisco? No, class. And then we say line console 0. I could just shorten it and say line con password Cisco. And then we say login. Then line bty space full password Cisco. And then login. Alright. So we're going to do this now on the last switch 3. I'm going to say host name S3 and say disable DNS. So no IP domain report. And then we say enable password Cisco class and then 9.0 password Cisco 9 space school password Cisco 9 sorry login. Alright, so finish the first page for all of the switches and see our percentage has increased to 19%. So let's go second page. Configure Ethernet interfaces of the 6 PCs with the IP address and the default gateways from the addressing table. Note, the IP address of PC1 will be marked as wrong for now. You will change the PC1 IP
You
address
work on the
later.
line?
Bird, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And they live almost country, you know, so every now and then they come on the veranda
Okay.
and sing.
That's a lovely one.
Yeah, alright. So go to the IP address table. So this is the IP address table. So we're doing all 6 PCs. Right? We're going to use these IP addresses. So let's just verify again. Configure the Ethernet interfaces of the 6 PCs with the IP address and default gate code. So we're doing these 6 computers. So we can close the routers for now. Start with PC1, desktop, IP configuration.
You meant switch, right?
Sorry?
You meant switch.
Oh, yes. I said routers, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes. I really mean switch. My bad.
Yeah, okay.
Routers on my mind.
Yeah.
Alright. So this is PC1. So PC1 is 172.17.10.21. 172.17.20.21. And the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Default gateway. Oh, hold on, I have the IP address wrong. It's 10. PC1 should be 10. 172.17.10.21. The default gateway now
So we spot the
172.17.10.
mistake by looking at the gateway.
No, I was looking at PC2. I'm mixing
Okay,
it up.
okay.
Yeah. Alright, so that finishes PC1. So we need to go to PC2 now. So desktop IP configuration 172.17.20.22. So 255.255.255.0. 172.17.20.22.1. Let's verify that we have that correct. EC2 172.17.20.22 and the default gateway 172.17.20.1. Good. Alright, so we have that. So we need to go PC3 now. So there's a little pattern that I see they have, right? PC3 is 172.17.20. Well, let's check it. I thought I had the pattern, but let's just verify. PC3 172.17.30. That's 33. One seventy two dot 17.30.33. 255.255.255.0. 172.17.30.1. Are you following, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Alright. So we're going to do the other three computers now. So our PC4 now. So that's PC4 172.17.10.24. 172.17.10.24. 255.255.255.0. The default gateway 172.17.10.1. Alright, so I need PC5 now. Okay. PC5 is 172.17.20.25. For gateway 172.17.20.1. The last PC now, PC6. So that's 172.17.30.26. And then 172.17.30.1. Alright, so we have all the computers configured now. So let's see our instructions now. Get this fully in view. So it says, of course, PC1 is going to be marked as incorrect. We'll fix that later. So on task 3, it says step 1, create VLANs on switch 1. So we're going to do this on switch 1. It says use VLAN-ID command in global configuration mode to add VLANs to switch 1. There are 4 VLANs to configure for this activity. After you create the VLAN, you will be in VLAN configuration mode, where you can assign a name to the VLAN with the VLAN name command. So this is the actual command set that we'll be using. So let's put this to the left and we get switch 1 in view. This should be Cisco. And this is going to be class and then config T. Alright, let's get our instructions back in view. So we're going to type VLAN 99. That takes us into the VLAN database. So notice the command, the prompt change to config-VLAN. And we're going to say inside here name management ampersand native. That's the name we're using. Enter and exit.
Oh, hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
All right, after you put in config T, okay, okay, you enter the VLAN 99, right?
Correct.
Okay. Just the enter configuration command, one per line. That kind of throw me off. You never saw it come up.
Oh no, anytime you type config T,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
always come up.
Okay, we never realized just now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Alright, so the next one we're doing now is VLAN 10. And then we're going to name VLAN 10. Name SCNTY/staff and exit. We're going to do VLAN 20. Then name students. And exit. Next we're going to do VLAN 30. And then name guest space in bracket default. Alright, can't have space, so that's the issue here. So let's take out space and exit. Alright, so I've just created the VLANs. So the instruction was to create the VLANs on switch 1, which we just did. So step 2 now is verify that the VLANs have been created on S1. So use the show VLAN brief command to verify that VLANs have been created. So we need to do the show command, we have to go to privilege exec mode. So we exit. Now we are in privilege exec mode. And we want to say show VLAN brief and then enter. And this should show us the VLANs. I'm just going to enlarge the window so we can see it as it should be. So this is where we enter the command show VLAN brief. It tells us we get a 4-column table: VLAN, name, status, and port. So as you see, VLAN 1 is the default VLAN, and then the status of VLAN 1 is active. Currently, all the ports are in VLAN 1. That's it right here, all of them. We've created VLAN 10, which we call it faculty/staff. It is now active. VLAN 20 is students. It's active. VLAN 30, the name is.
Stop there.
Huh?
Stop there. All right. Basically, in VLAN, when you put in the first instruction,
Mhm.
you tell them that you want 99 VLAN.
No, no, you're naming that VLAN 99. Or,
Okay.
sorry, you're creating VLAN with an ID of 99.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then for the staff, you give 10,
Yeah,
student 20. Yes. Okay.
right.
Okay. Okay.
And then now these are some VLANs that are always on the switch.
Yeah, I
So,
remember. Yeah.
right,
All them active stuff.
right. Alright, so we have done that. So step 3 now says configure and name VLANs on switch 2 and switch 3. So we should go to switch 2 and 3 and do the same thing. Um, so going to the VLAN 10, 20, 30, 99. And we're going to use, it says follow this using the same commands in step 1. So that means we're giving them the same names as well. Right? So one of the things that we can do to make things a little faster is we can just copy all of this to a notepad file. So everything in notepad, we're going
Or
to,
you can or you can configure from the configuration to node file and back to configuration.
yeah, you just have to make sure you set it right. So all of the
Mm.
sections with the prompt, you have to take them out.
Yeah.
And you have to ensure the configuration is following the right sequence as well.
Hmm. So every time you do a VLAN, you have to exit and start over.
You actually don't have to. But that's how they have it in the lab, so I just followed what they have.
Okay, okay. It's just okay. Instruction from the lab. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so that's it. So Control A, Control C, I can go to the switch now and just paste that. So let's go to switch 2. Um, class LASS CIS CISCO CLASS and CISCO. Okay, okay. And EN CLASS config T, and then from here now we're just going to paste there. So we have completed the configuration for switch 2. See?
Yes.
Alright, so we want to do the same thing for switch 3. So EN CLASS config T. I'm going to paste the config. So the next thing we want to do now is just to verify that they are actually there by doing show VLAN brief. Verify. Alright, so we have all the VLANs, right? 10, 20, 30, 99. So let's click on switch 2, XIT, show VLAN brief, and we have 10, 20, 30, 99. So we have all of them. Alright, so let's see what else we have to do now. So we just finished step 3. It asks what ports are currently assigned to 4 VLANs you have created, and the answer is none, right? Because all the ports are assigned to VLAN 1. So step 4 says assign switch ports to VLANs on switch 2 and switch 3. So this is just for switch 2 and switch 3. So it says refer to the port assignment table on page 1 Ports are assigned to VLANs in interface configuration mode using the switch port access VLAN, then the VLAN ID command. Packet tracer will only grade the first interface in each range. The interface the PC is connected to. Normally you would use the interface range command, but Packet Tracer does not support this command. Alright, so Packet Tracer now support the command. The old Packet Tracer didn't, but it now supports the command. But we're not going to do it anyway. We're going to follow what they have here, right? So the command, and when we're on the when we go interface fast Ethernet 0/6, then we say switch port access VLAN 30, and then we'll go interface fast Ethernet 0/11. We say switch port access VLAN 10, and just continue through. With me?
Yes, I'm here.
Alright, so switch 2 we're starting with. Let's keep this on the screen. So bucket T, we're going to say interface fast Ethernet 0/6. Switch port access VLAN 30, and we're going to say interface. Now, upper arrow key makes things easier. 0/11. We're going to say switch port access VLAN 10, and interface fast Ethernet 0/18, and what say switch port access VLAN 20, and then E and D. Right, so that's for switch 2.
So the VLAN that you create, you basically configure the interface on them.
No. So what we do here is when we go on an interface,
Mm-hmm.
we're telling that interface that it should have access to a particular VLAN.
Okay, okay.
Right, so interface fast Ethernet 0/6 should have access to VLAN 30.
Okay, so that all those are the interface and switch to.
Yes.
Okay.
So the next thing they have here is they have saved it, copy running config, startup config. So copy run start. Alright. So we need to do this now on switch 3 as well, because they said it's switch 2 and 3. Let's go to switch 3. Let's bring our instructions back in view. Alright, in fact, before we do, let's make sure we have the information right. Is what they give us is for switch 2, but the correct information is actually on the first page. So this is it. It says ports 1 to 5 are for VLAN 99. Ports 6, right? Says up here, says for switch 2 and 3. So 1 to 5 are for VLAN 99. Um, port 6 is for VLAN 6 to 10 is for VLAN 30. 11 to 17 is for VLAN 10, and 18 to 24 is for VLAN 20. Now, if we look at the instruction, the actual commands that they did, um, so they only did port 6, port 11, and port 18. They didn't do all the ports. You notice?
I should read it. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. But you could do it as a group, no?
Yeah, so um, assign the switch ports. You say refer to port assignment and table on the table on page 1. So I'm going to follow the table on page 1, right, to make sure we don't just do just what is here. I think why they did what is here is because of this. They say packet tracer will only grade the first interface. So they just do the first interface because that's the one packet tracer is grading.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. And they didn't do 99 either.
Mm-hmm.
So let's I'm just wondering if we should let's see. All right. What I was wondering is whether I should do VLAN 99 since they didn't have it in their lineup, but I'm going to do it because they say we should um, port assignment to the VLANs. It said refer to the port assignment on the table on page 1. So since they tell us to use the table, so I'm going to just follow what is on the table and not just the limited thing that they do here.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to do over, let's start back with switch 2 and bring back the instruction on according to the table, which is this. Config T, then I want to say interface range FA0/1 dash 5. Okay, and then we're going to say switch port access VRAM 99. Right? So following what is in the table.
Okay.
With me?
Yes.
So the next thing we want to do then is say interface range. This time we're going to do 0/6-10. So we're doing the second row, 6 to 10. Enter. Then we're going to say switch port access VLAN 30. Enter. Then switch um, interface range. This time 11 to 17. And that should access VLAN 10. So switch port access VLAN 10. And then we're going to do interface range 18 to 24. And that should be VLAN 20. All right.
What happened just now?
Um, what happened is because we have VLAN 99 configured on switch 2 and it not on switch 1, it's giving us some errors. So we just have to continue.
Okay, so 18, 24, 20.
Yeah, 18 to 24. And that should be switch port access VLAN 20. Alright, good. So we have that. So we're going to do the same thing on switch 2. Right? So again, to make things shorter for us, I'm going to copy all of this and put it in Notepad. Of course, I'm going to have to clean it up to get rid of the errors, right? So to get rid of that, Alright, so that's that. So let's copy this now and then go to switch 3. Yeah. Um, then we're going to paste it now. Alright, so we've done switch 3 now. With me?
Yes.
Yeah. So go back to the instructions. Alright, so we did step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Alright, so it has a note here. Note that fast Ethernet 0/11 access VLAN will be marked as wrong for now. You will correct this later. Alright, cool. Repeat the same for step switch 3, which we did. Step 5, determine which ports have been added. So to find out which ports have been added, we're going to use a show VLAN ID, VLAN number command on switch 2 to see the ports that are added to VLAN 10. Okay? So, which means we're going to say show VLAN 10 uh, um, show VLAN this bit. I'm not sure this. Let's type because this thing here don't not making sense. The ID then VLAN number. So let's type it. Switch 2. So it's a show VLAN then question mark. Okay, so ID and then VLAN number. So the question mark again. VLAN number is what it wants next now, so which is 10. Alright, follow that?
Yes, yes.
Alright. So follow if we look at the instruction says we should do show VLAN ID then the VLAN number. And the VLAN is 10. So which is what we did. Show VLAN ID and the VLAN number of 10. And it tells us that VLAN 10, the name is faculty and staff, and these are the ports that have been added. So fast Ethernet 0/11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Cool?
Yeah, yes.
So it says which ports are assigned to VLAN 10. So we just saw that. It said note the show VLAN name display the same output. Okay. So we could have done this show VLAN and then say name and find out the name. The name is faculty slash staff. LTY slash SPA. Could have done that. And it gives us the same output. Alright? So you can also view VLAN assignment information using the show interfaces switchport command. So this is another thing we could do. Show interfaces switchport. Um, let's take a look. Show INTR face this. Let's go to IT. Enter. Yeah, but this is a longer thing though. It's going to give us port by port and give us full detail on the port.
Yeah, put an individual port.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. Control
Okay.
C. Alright. So step 6 now. A management VLAN is any VLAN that you configure to access the management capabilities of a switch. VLAN 1 serves as the management VLAN if you did not specifically define another VLAN. You assign the management VLAN an IP address and subnet mask. A switch can be managed via HTTP, Telnet, SSH, or SNMP because the out-of-the-box configuration of a switch has VLAN 1 as the default VLAN. VLAN 1 is a bad choice as the management VLAN. You do not want an arbitrary user who is connecting to a switch to default to the management VLAN. Recall that you configured management VLAN as VLAN 99 earlier in this lab. So what they're saying here is by default VLAN 1 is the management VLAN. Right? But it really becomes the management VLAN when you give it an IP address. So they're saying it's best not to do that. Just set up a different VLAN as the management VLAN. And in this lab, they had asked us to do VLAN 99. So so far, it is not yet the management VLAN. We have simply call it, give it a name of management. That's all we have done so far. Right? To actually make it the management VLAN, we'll have to now put an IP address on that VLAN. That's what actually makes it the management VLAN. With me?
Yes.
Alright, so it says from interface configuration mode, use the IP address command to assign the management IP address to the switches. So we're going to go to all three switches and we're going to put in this command interface VLAN 99 IP address. I'll give it that IP address and say shutdown. So we're going to start with switch 1. Set this so I can easily see it. Start with switch 1. Get all instruction in view. Alright, so I want to do now interface. Oh, I have to do config key first. Interface VLAN 99. So we are now in VLAN 99. Let's say IPADDR 172.17.99.11 space 255.255.255.0. Enter. And then no shot. Alright, so we just confirm now that VLAN 1 is the management VLAN on switch 1. Going to do the same on switch 2. config T, then interface VLAN 99, then we want to say IP address 172.170.99.12 space 255.255.255.0 and no short. Okay, so we have done that for switch 2. Now we need to do switch 3. Alright, so interface VLAN 99. Then we're going to say IP address 172.17.99.13.255.255.255.0, and then no shot, and that's it. Alright, so I've just configured the IP address for the VLAN, making the VLAN management. So it says assigning a management address allows IP communication between the switches and also allows a host connected to a port assigned to VLAN 99 to connect to the switches. Because VLAN 99 is configured as management VLAN, any ports assigned to this VLAN are considered management ports and should be secured to control which switch devices can connect to these ports. Alright? Yeah, so basically we're saying no, we don't want everybody to have access to these management ports. So next now it says configure trunking and native VLAN for trunking ports on all switches. So we're going to set up now, let's take a look at the network itself. So that's these links here between the switches. So we're going to set these as trunks. Because the links between switches should always be trunks. Right? The links going out to the computers are access ports.
On the router as well.
Well, going to the router, depending on what you're doing, from router to a switch can be either access or trunk, depending on what you're doing.
Okay.
Alright, so trunks are connections between the switches that allow the switches to exchange information for all VLANs. By default, a trunk port belongs to all VLANs, as opposed to an access port, which can only belong to a single VLAN. If the switch supports both ISL and 802.1q VLAN encapsulation, the trunks must specify which method is being used. Because the 2960 switch supports 802.1q trunking, it is not specified in this activity. So there are two trunking methods. You have the ISL, which is inter-switch link, which is a Cisco proprietary method, and then you have the IEEE 802.1q. So they're saying if a switch support both of them, then we would have to specify which one. In this particular case, the switch they're using, which is a 2960, only supports the 802.1q. So in that case, it will not ask us to specify which one, since it only supports just one. Make sense?
Yes, yeah, makes sense.
Alright. So it says a native VLAN is assigned to an 802.1q trunk port. In the topology, before I go further, I just want to clarify something. So we see the term native VLAN here, and before we were talking about management VLAN, right? So usually the native VLAN and the management VLAN is the same. Whichever VLAN is the native, it is the same one we would usually make the management. But that's just in terms of assignment. They are actually two separate things. Management VLAN is the VLAN that will be used to perform configuration of the switch. So once you're doing any kind of configuration, you're using management VLAN. While the native VLAN is the VLAN on the trunk that will not tag any of the data. Any frame going across and the native VLAN will not be tagged. Get that difference?
Repeat it for me.
Alright. So we're saying the management VLAN is a VLAN that we will use to do configuration of the switch. So any kind of configuration we are doing, we should connect to the management VLAN and then configure the switch. Right?
Yeah, okay.
However, the native VLAN is a VLAN that will not tag any of the data that is being sent along that trunk. So normally VLAN would tag it, it will tag the frames with the VLAN ID. Say if the frames coming from VLAN 2 would tag the frames with an ID that says VLAN 2. But anything coming from the native VLAN, whatever the number of that VLAN, it will not be tagged. Get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so a native VLAN is assigned to an 802.12 trunk port. In the topology, the native VLAN is VLAN 99. An 802.1q trunk port supports traffic coming from many VLANs, and that's the target traffic, as well as traffic that does not come from a VLAN, right, untagged traffic. The 802.1q trunk port faces untagged traffic on the native VLAN, which is what I was saying, right? Native
Mm-hmm.
VLAN will not be tagging the traffic. Untagged traffic is generated by a computer attached to a switch port that is configured with the native VLAN. One of the IEEE 802.12 specifications for native VLAN is to maintain backward compatibility with untagged traffic common to legacy LAN scenarios. What they're saying here is if you happen to have a hub on your network, right? A hub does not have the opportunity or the ability to tag traffic. So once you have a hub, then it means any frame coming from that hub is going to be without any tagging, and therefore we have to design the network to still facilitate that, and that is why we need a native VLAN. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Alright, so for the purposes of this activity, a native VLAN serves as a common identifier on opposing ends of a trunk link. It is a best practice to use a VLAN other than VLAN 1 as the native VLAN. So they're going to use VLAN 99. As I say, we normally would make the native VLAN the same number as the management VLAN. Alright, so this is the command we're going to follow. Right? For switch 1, switch 2, switch 3. So let's start with switch 1. And see, we're getting some errors here. It says CDP for native VLAN mismatch. Native VLAN mismatch discovered on fast Ethernet 0/2 and in bracket 1 with switch 3 fast Ethernet 0/2 99. So this is saying fast Ethernet 0/2 has VLAN 1 as the native VLAN. Right? On switch 3, fast Ethernet 0/2 has 99 as the native VLAN. So that's why it's saying mismatch. Where on switch 1 has the native VLAN as VLAN 1, but switch 2 has the native VLAN as VLAN 99. With me?
Yes, yes.
Alright, so let's get that part fixed. So we're on switch 1, so we're going to be doing the switch 1 command. So need to config T first. Then interface F0/1. Going to say switch port mode trunk. So making it a trunk. Then having made that a trunk, we're going to now give it the native VLAN of 99. So say switch port trunk native VLAN 99. So switch port trunk native VLAN 99. That's what we just typed. Switch port trunk native VLAN 99. So we're going to go to switch, still on switch 1, we're doing the same thing on fast Ethernet 0/2 now. Fast Ethernet 0/2. Then we're going to do the same command. So we've done it for switch for fast Ethernet 0/1 and fast Ethernet 0/2. So we now need to go to switch 2. Switch 2. We're going to enter the second set of commands that's right here. Switch 2. Then we're going to say interface fast Ethernet 0/1 switch port mode trunk. Right, so we're saying make this switch into a trunk. Then we're going to say switch port trunk native VLAN 99. Alright, With me?
Yes.
So notice there it tells us that the error has been solved. It says unblocking fast Ethernet 0/1 VLAN 01 port
Yeah, yeah.
consistency restored. So we need to go to switch 3 now. Say interface fast Ethernet 0/2 switch port mode trunk. I'm going to say switch port trunk native VLAN 99. I or I mistype VLAN file in. So our error should stop now. Because every switch is using the same VLAN as the native VLAN now. Make sense?
Yes, somewhat.
Right, so the next part now says verify that the trunks have been configured with the show interface trunk command. So, and we can do this on any one of the switch. They are built on switch 1. So let's do switch 1 as well. So we should type show interface trunk. And I'm going to have to make the window a little larger. So it says, let's bring this over so we can actually see do a good comparison. So as we see here, fast Ethernet 0/1 on 802.1q, trunking 99. Fast Ethernet 0/2, well in our case it is set to auto, and the n here, this
Yeah.
n, it means negotiate.
So I finish it?
No, it means, so you see, alright, let's start from the top one where it just says on. On
Mm-hmm.
meaning it is manually set for trunk, and it is not going to be negotiating with the other side to become a trunk. It is just set to be a trunk.
Okay.
Right. Now the author here says that it is not set to be a trunk. It is set as a author. So if the other side wants to be a trunk, then it will be a trunk.
Okay.
So what it's saying is the mode is author, so it is not trunk. However, it has become a trunk through the negotiation from the other side. That's what this N means. With me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the status tells us that both of them are trunk. However, the
Mm.
first one was manually set to be a trunk, and the encapsulation it is using is 802.1q. The second one is currently a trunk, but it was not set to be a trunk. It was set just to be auto. However, it achieved trunk status through negotiation from the other end. With me?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, with the trunk status,
Mm-hmm.
there are several options we have. I'm just going to put them in the notepad here. So, and I, let's say interface status, right? So we have could be access, it could be auto, could be desirable, and it could be trunk. So those are the options we have. Right? So if we set it to access, then it will never ever be a trunk because we have said it should be access. If we set it to auto, we say it can be a trunk depending on what is happening on the other side. Right? So it could be a trunk or it could be access. It all depends on what is happening on the other side. With me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Desirable says that it is asking to become a trunk, so it is going to negotiate with the other side to become a trunk. And then if we set it to just trunk, then we are saying this will never be access, it will be trunk.
No change unless you manually change it.
Right. So as you see here, we have this one set to auto. Cool? Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Alright. So let's see what else we have to do in this. Alright, so step 8, verify that the switches can communicate. So from switch 1, ping the management address of S2 and S3. So switch 1, we're going to try and ping the management IP address of switch 2 and switch 3. So um, this first one is switch 2. So if we go ping 172.17.99.12, so we should be pinging switch 2 here, and we get success. The first two fail, but the last three were successful. We can do it again, and in this case all five successful. We can now try ping switch 3. Again, the first two fail, but the other three are successful. We try again. All five are successful. So next step is ping several hosts from PC2. So we can now try from PC2 to ping some of the other computers to see if it will work. So let's see if they give us any IP address to try. They haven't given us any IP address, so we just try some. So PC2 PC2 let's try PC from PC2 ping PC1, right? So it will command prompt. Say ping 172.17.10.21. Right, that looks like everything is failing. Okay, so it all fails. Let's try pinging PC3, which is 30.23. Alright, so we can't ping PC1 and we can't ping PC3. Let's try PC4. PC4 is 10.24. 10.24. That is failing as well. Let's try PC5. PC5 is 20.25. We get success from PC5. Alright, so let's try the last one, which is PC6. PC6 IP is 172.17.30.26. PC6 is failing. Alright. So any idea why we're having the failure? We can only ping PC5.
Not sure, but so I can't see the IP address. We'll have to do with the switch though.
Oh, well, you see the IP address is here under them.
Okay. Tell the chunk, stop with the chunk.
Alright, so well, it is really have to do with the VLAN.
Or the VLAN.
Yeah, PC2 and PC5 are the same VLAN, so that is why they can
Oh,
ping. The others are on different VLANs, so we wouldn't be able to ping them if they're on different VLANs. We'd need a
mm,
router.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the issue. Alright. So they now ask us to step 10, move PC1 into the same VLAN as PC2. So we want to connect PC1 into the same VLAN as PC2. And so this is the configuration. So we go interface fast Ethernet 0/11 and change the access to VLAN 20. And then we can try now ping between PC1 and PC2. Right? Now I can tell you from now that it's going to fail still. Right? The reason it's going to fail is because their IP addresses are on different subnets. So even though they're in the same VLAN, their IP addresses are on different subnets. So for ping to work, for any communication to work between devices, they have to be on the same VLAN and they have to be in the same subnet if we do not have routers.
Okay.
Right. So that's that. And step 11 says change the IP address and network of PC1. So this is just to verify. So they're just changing it now to
Mm-hmm.
give it an IP address in the same network as PC2. And that would make it successful. Cool?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I see we're at 6 past 3, so we can take a break here and then we start back. So
Mm-hmm.
let's do 15 minutes. All right, let's do 10. 10
All right.
should be fine, right?
All right, yeah, man, no problem.
Yeah, so we'll come back at 3:16.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.